This A-list singer slash actress fainted slash stumbled multiple times yesterday because she refuses to eat. And again, this is allegedly Ariana Grande, was allegedly about how label executives were telling Cynthia Erivo that she was too large to be a star in America, and now she has lost a drastic amount of weight. Fans shocked by Cynthia Erivo's weight loss at Wicked promo. And honestly, Ariana Grande looks very thin too.
Bro,
Ariana,
can we rewind for a second? Listen, her collarbones. I don't know if I've seen that much definition in collarbones before. That is an unhealthy amount of collarbone definition.
This is not method acting. Don't let anyone tell you this is method acting, because there was nothing in this movie that should let them look like this. Thousands of videos suddenly went viral claiming that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are looking vastly eerie in their before and afters. They look like they are being, deprived of something. This reminds me of Judy Garland from the first movie, The Wizard of Oz. Judy Garland was told by executives that she looked like a fat little pig with pigtails and was encouraged to smoke 80 cigarettes a day. Even more horrifying is that the studio gave her stimulants and sleeping pills to keep her energized and working, ultimately leading to her death from various complications. And now, many believe history is repeating itself.
Something's going on, because every interview, dang near every interview that they've done, has ended up in weeping tears.
Well, got on a little bit of her softness, and she's got
her strength.
A little bit of my strength.
Yeah.
Right, y'all. So, this new movie Wicked is about to come out, and a lot of people are concerned about the two main actresses in the film because they seem very unhealthy, both physically and spiritually. Now, if you ask them, of course, they're going to say that they're just fine. But, Ariana Grande is a witch. She has stated it multiple times. Now, she says she's a good witch. I don't really know if there is a difference. You're dabbling in the spiritual realm illegally. So there's no good in that. You might think what you're doing is good, but ultimately that is pride. And you're idolizing yourself and your quote unquote powers that you have through illegally accessing the spiritual realm. So I don't see how any of that could be good, but she says she's a good witch, and so does her co-star. Or I think in this movie, they're both, equally stars in this movie, I guess. So this is a huge film. This is going to garner a ton of eyeballs, specifically from children. And I think it's very concerning that we have these two women who are very clear and open that they're witches, have this much of a stronghold and this much influence and a platform over the youth who don't know any better. And it's given, I don't know if you remember what happened to Judy Garland, but I'm going to play this video because it's very reminiscent of what happened to Judy Garland, which ultimately led to her demise. But I want to play this video, and then I want to play some other clips from some interviews that have come up, because all of this is just extremely dark, and I'm surprised that more people don't see what I'm seeing.
Why do Ariana Grande and Cynthia look like this? This is not method acting. Don't let anyone tell you this is method acting, because there was nothing in this movie that should let them look like this. Thousands of videos suddenly went viral claiming that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are looking vastly eerie in their before and afters. They look like they are being, deprived of something. This reminds me of Judy Garland from the first movie, The Wizard of Oz. Judy Garland was told by executives that she looked like a fat little pig with pigtails and was encouraged to smoke 80 cigarettes a day. Even more horrifying is that the studio gave her stimulants and sleeping pills to keep her energized and working, ultimately leading to her death from various complications. And now, many believe history is repeating itself. Cynthia was actually very fit before and had never appeared this haggard. As for Ariana, this time she looks alarmingly thin. There are even blind items claiming that Ariana has fainted multiple times due to refusing to eat. I don't know what happened on set, but it feels like something serious that needs investigating. People are starting to speculate whether this movie is cursed. Does anyone remember when they said someone was in the tree in the background of The Wizard of Oz?
You know, it's interesting because those same spirits that forced Judy Garland to basically starve herself in order to have a role and a job in Hollywood are the same spirits that are present today in Hollywood. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but Judy Garland, Dorothy, she played Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. And if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of like a spinoff of The Wizard of Oz. I'm not super up to date on the film Wicked, but I believe, just based on what I've seen and what I've heard, that this is a spinoff or a sequel, something associated with The Wizard of Oz. I don't know how closely, but there's some association there, right? But remember this, Garland, her first feature film in 1936, she was 14. It was a musical comedy about college football coaches called Pigskin Parade. MGM let her know that they felt she looked like a fat little pig with pigtails on screen, and she was put on her first of many diets. Because her calories were so restricted, executives would go so far as to remove a plate full of food when she was about to eat it. She was permanently hungry and fantasized wildly about such things as chocolate sundae and peanut and pecan nuts and whipped cream. Still a child. She was still a child, y'all. We're talking about a 14-year-old. She fell into habits of starving and binging. By 1938, the year before The Wizard of Oz, studio managers were sending memos to one another about the star's daily intake. Quote unquote, Judy sneaked out between takes 7 and 8 this afternoon and had a malted milk. Or Garland gained 10 pounds, costumes refitted. In Broadway Melody of 1938, she stole the whole film with a poignant rendition of You Made Me Love You, sung to a photograph of Clark Gable. Around this time, one of Mayer's executives summoned Garland to tell her she was so fat that she looked like a monster. Some of those working on the set said it was the cruelest thing they could remember anyone saying to a child actor. And ultimately, if you remember, this led to her being engaged at age 18, her first of 5 husbands. He was shocked by how little she was allowed to eat. Her husband insisted that she consume, not her husband, but Mayer, I think this is a studio executive or director or something in that realm, insisted that she consume only black coffee and chicken soup, plus 80 cigarettes a day and pills every 4 hours to quell her appetite. On this regimen, she managed to stay at 7 stone. She was just 4 feet 11 inches. But as soon as she stopped dieting, her weight rocketed. Mayer left her with a lifelong eating disorder and also arguably caused her drug addiction, since getting high was the only way she could forget about the raging hunger. Same spirits. Same exact spirits are present today in Hollywood. Now, this is a blind item, which is essentially gossip, all right? Completely alleged, could 100% be false. So let me just put that out there. This could 100% be false. But according to this blind item, Ariana Grande is refusing to eat as a result of her getting this role. And which is very interesting because she's been talking about this role for years. Because she hasn't always been this skinny. I think it wasn't until like maybe a few years ago where she really started to get really skinny, but now she's like deathly skinny and it's really concerning to a lot of people. But she's been trying to get this role for years. She said herself that she's been manifesting this role for like 10 plus years or something like that. Let's listen.
Here's a blind item that is allegedly about Ariana Grande fainting because she refuses to eat. And I'm sorry for the disclaimer, but my videos haven't been getting as many views as usual, and I don't think TikTok is serving my content. So if you could please interact with this post, I would really appreciate it. This A-list singer/actress fainted/stumbled multiple times yesterday because she refuses to eat. And again, this is allegedly Ariana Grande. And the related headline reads, "Everyone is saying the same thing about Ariana Grande as she arrives in Australia." U.S. pop star Ariana Grande was mobbed by eager fans when she touched down in Sydney on Saturday. The side-to-side hitmaker 31 was in the country to attend the premiere of the highly anticipated film adaptation of Wicked at Sydney State Theatre alongside her current boyfriend Ethan Slater and co-star Cynthia Erivo. But as the pictures of Ariana's arrival flooded Instagram, fans couldn't help commenting on her resemblance to Ethan, 32. Here's a blind item that is allegedly about Ariana.
Same thing applies with Cynthia. Allegedly, according to this blind item, which once again could be 100% false, could be completely made up. But allegedly, Cynthia was told that she was too heavy to be a star. And they basically said, yo, we don't want Jennifer Hudson type of build. We want like a Tyla type of build. And so she lost a dramatic amount of weight. Now, her physique is, I think they're both very concerning, but her transformation is very concerning. And here's the thing I just want to speak about briefly. You remember what happened with Judy Garland, right? Judy Garland, the only way that she could cope with not eating was to get high. And that ultimately led to her demise. These two women, what are they doing? What are they doing to cope with this extreme amount of weight loss? And who knows? You know, it's crazy to sit here to speculate, you know, because there could be a lot of things that are going on. There could be sickness and illness involved. There could be, you know, mental health involved. There could be a lot of things involved. Or it could very well be that this industry is pushing them to basically starve themselves in order to fit an avatar so that they can get these roles, which has been factual in the past. So it's not out of the realm of imagination to assume or think that something like this is going on. But my question is, how are they coping with it? And I think that they're turning to these spirits. They're tapping into these quote unquote good witch spirits, which are ultimately demonic, in order to help them cope with this. And I don't see any way how this could end up well for either one of them. And on top of that, I don't see how this could end up well for all of the millions of children who are so impressionable, who are super fans, who will become super fans of this film, because I'm sure this film is really good, because they're both extremely talented. They're both extremely talented and can sing like no other. So I'm sure this film is going to be really, really good. But now we have millions of children who have become super fans of this film centered around witches who they themselves in their personal life, from a spiritual standpoint and from a physical standpoint, they're not looking like they're doing that great. So now what type of precedent are we setting for our children? What type of example are we setting for our children? And even further, like from a beauty standard, it's going to sow so many seeds of confusion, so many seeds of doubt, so many seeds of shame and guilt. And it's dark. It's dark stuff. Let me play this blind item.
This is a blind item that came out last month, but I think it is really relevant now because it was allegedly about how label executives were telling Cynthia Erivo that she was too large to be a star in America, and now she has lost a drastic amount of weight. Everything here is alleged, not confirmation of allegations, and for entertainment purposes only. This foreign-born actress, Cynthia Erivo, is A- list in her home country, and probably A- list as a singer too. This week, while in the country for the big awards, she is trying to get label bosses here interested in her and has been doing showcases. She is a great actress and singer. She is maybe a size 6, and the labels have been giving feedback that she is too heavy, and apparently that is what we are going back to now. One quote was that we want a Tyla and not a Jennifer Hudson or Kelly Clarkson. And again, this is allegedly Cynthia Erivo. And the related headline reads, "Fans shocked by Cynthia Erivo's weight loss at Wicked promo." And honestly, Ariana Grande looks very thin too.
Bro,
Ariana,
can we rewind for a second? Listen, her collarbones. I don't know if I've seen that much definition in collarbones before. That is an unhealthy amount of collarbone definition. And for those of you who don't really get what was being said, the executives were saying, hey, we don't want a Jennifer Hudson, which is she's more of a, curvy woman, or like a Kelly Clarkson. We don't want that. But they want a Tyla. Tyla is very petite. She's a singer, pop star, very petite. So they're saying that that's what we want because that's what they think is hot right now. That's what they think is selling right now. So that's what they want. And Ariana and Cynthia are giving them just that. But this is an extreme level of physique, in my opinion.
Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo posed at a photo call during the Australian premiere of Wicked in Sydney, Australia on November 5th. Cynthia's fans are shocked by her appearance. Photos from the promo event show Cynthia's protruding neck bones and sunken cheeks. This is a blind.
This one is pretty disturbing.
I read that during filming, you both got tattoos.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
many.
Can you show us any of them and what the story behind them are?
This one is for good. So that when we hold hands, they touch. We have our poppies here.
Hers is upside down. Mine is the other way.
And then you have, well, you can't show it
I can't
today.
show it today, but well,
She has her hat and her broom.
My hat is on the inside of my arm. My broom is on the outside of my arm here.
The first one we got.
Which one?
Oh,
The heart.
G
So
and
she has.
G.
I have a heart with a G in it. She has a heart with an E in it.
On the backs of our
On the
legs.
backs of our legs.
And then I got Glinda from the 1901
That's right.
original book. L. Frank Baum.
And I have a vase of poppies. Yeah. We had a few.
It was kind of funny because we were getting these
So they both have good on their palm, which I'm assuming is representative of them being good witches. in real life. She said she had a broom and a wand, or a hat and a broom, or something like that. They have each other's initial, like last name initial, on their legs. And these are permanent. This is not for the movie. This is permanent. This is not like some, oh, we're going to get this little makeup for the movie and then no. This is permanent. Something's going on. Because every interview, dang near every interview that they've done, has ended up in weeping tears.
Well, got in her a little bit of her softness, and she's got
Her strength.
a little bit of my strength.
Yeah. Truthfully.
Who was othered at school my whole life. This film means so much to me, and there are so many millions of kids like me who find refuge in the witches. And I just want to let you know that
She said there's so many kids like me who find refuge in the witches. I think she read some type of statement from a child talking about the impact that this film and this, the book or whatever has had on their life. And she said there's so many children like me who find refuge in the witches. This is what they want, bruh. That's exactly what the enemy wants. He don't want you to find refuge in God. He wants you to find refuge in the world. He wants you to find refuge in these demonic spirits. That's the point.
You both have to stop.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Me.
This is 3 separate interviews.
Not the time, helicopter. Go. Hey.
Wow.
Whoa, stop.
Don't do it.
A 4th interview, they're crying.
Don't do it. Stop, you guys.
You can't leave. You can't.
No,
We're really sorry.
It just happens.
It's really
A 5th interview.
emotional.
We can't help it. We're trying our best. But there's a lot of emotional things that happen, and we're just going with it.
Yeah, you need to understand.
We're
It's been like
weeping,
3 years, people.
Sopping hearts.
There's a lot
We've had to
going
keep
on.
this in for such a long time.
My goodness gracious. What the heck have y'all gotten yourselves into? I mean, on top of that, from the perspective of children, y'all remember this story just came out. Y'all remember that Mattel, they put out these wicked Barbie dolls. They put a corn sight on the back of the packaging. Now, granted, I don't know how many children are going to turn the package around and look at the website and go to the www website. I don't know how many children are actually doing that. I would imagine not many, but some. I'm sure some probably did, out of curiosity, to learn more about the movie or to see when it comes out or to see a preview or see something. I would assume most of them just go to YouTube or just go to Google and, they try to find more content about the movie because they're excited about it. They want to watch a preview, but there might have been a handful of kids who went to this website and now potentially for the first time, the reason I say potentially is because we live in such an over-sexualized world, but potentially for the first time have been exposed to corn by way of this movie. And think about the lasting impact that that could have. There's just a lot of red flags with this movie. I mean, the obvious, the whole premise behind the movie, but just everything that I'm seeing coming out, it's almost as if they have become different people. And remember what Taraji said. Remember what Taraji said. She said that when you're acting, it's deeply spiritual because you have to give yourself essentially as a sacrifice so that your body can be used by these spirits, so that your body can be used by the character. Let me play this just in case y'all don't remember.
Very spiritual what we do as actors. You're on the set, you have your chakras all open, you're allowing this character to use your body as a vessel. And so you have to learn how to flip the switch on and flip it off. Otherwise, it could drive you mad. You know, because you have your own, like she says it all the time, she has her cross to bear and then your character's cross to bear. It's too much.
You have your cross to bear and then you have your character's cross to bear. But if you don't know how to switch, and that is what it is. But she said something. She said, if you don't know how to switch it off, it'll drive you mad. They're getting permanent tattoos. I think this is probably going to be their biggest film that they do. To this point in their career, Ariana and Cynthia, I think this is going to be their biggest, most successful film. And I think a lot of people are going to, there's already millions of people that know them already, but I think even more people are going to be exposed because this film is going to be that big. I think it's going to be like on a Frozen level. Like, you know, when everybody was singing, like, you want to build a do you want to build a snowman? I think it's going to be bigger than that. That's what I think. We'll see how it plays out. But man, oh man. Crazy stuff going on in Hollywood. Let me know what y'all think. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.